Welcome back to Coming Home to You Sparkcast, where joy is medicine, healing is sacred, and remembrance is your superpower. Today's episode is a radiant transmission of wisdom, healing, and soul-led leadership. But we want to take a moment to arrive fully in this moment, sisters. So if you can, let's join together in our one breath, one heart ritual. So place one hand on your heart and one in your womb, your belly. Breathe in deeply through your nose here and bring that breath up to the top of your crown. You hold it here for 4 counts. And then when you release through your mouth, I want you to really let go of anything heavy weighing on you, not serving you in this moment. Now I want you to take another deep breath in and think of something that you're grateful for today. Hold it at the top here, let it expand. And as you breathe out, smile with your body, smile with your face. Take one more deep breath in again, stacking one more gratitude, placing that in your heart, allowing it to expand, glow, illuminate. And as you breathe out, send the gratitude out into the world. Now I want you to take a moment to set your intention. How do you want to be received today? How do you want to show up? Or you want to be held? Great. Thank you. And now I want you to just send that intention out into the world. And with one breath and one heart, we may now begin. So now that we're here together, let me introduce you to the extraordinary woman joining us today. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of feminine awakening and generational healing with a woman who embodies the very work that she teaches. Our guest is Mari Nygander, a catalyst for breaking cycles and a guide for women who are ready to step out of their inherent patterns of self-doubt, people-pleasing, yeah, me, and disconnection, and into their full embodied power. With a successful background in corporate leadership, Mari now brings her wisdom to the world of embodied leadership coaching and the mind-body connection, helping high-achieving women move from proving and performing to leading with confidence, freedom, and deeper inner alignment. Gorgeous work. She's here to help us rewrite the story for ourselves and for the generations to come. This is going to be powerful. I hope that you're ready. Please help me welcome Mari to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am blessed to be here. I love the work that you're doing in this podcast.
Thank you. The honor is all mine. I would not have a Sparkcast without people like you being a yes and doing the work and sharing your story. And I think when we can show vulnerability as a strength and a superpower, more people will realize they're not alone and they're not on this journey. We have a tribe. You just got to shine your light and so we can see you, right?
Yeah. And it has not always been the case, right? To be vulnerable, sitting in front of the audience, or even myself, or you for that matter.
Yes, because the people pleasing, the needing to look good, the what are they going to do? What am I going to do if they judge me and criticize me, right? So it's all
At
that.
one point, I didn't even think it was an option. It was so hidden.
Imagine though if you had just still been a no, or these poor women who are graced to do the work that you do with you, where would they be? They would still feel unseen and alone. So thank you. It really it's great when we can just take ourselves on and lead from a space of love, and it starts with ourselves, the relationship with ourselves. And I don't think this is going live, but we'll just have to do with what it is. So Mari, You speak about breaking inherited cycles and as a catalyst for feminine awakening. Can you take us back to the moment that you realized you were living out these patterns yourself? And what sparked your journey of coming home to your truth?
Well, absolutely. I built a life for myself. I looked very successful on the outside. I had the job, I had the husband, the house, the summer house, the car, whatever. And it all looked good on the surface. But I was feeling empty. I was not grateful for the things that I had. I always felt like something was missing. And I had this big wound or the big symptom showing up in my life, and that was eating my feelings. I did not know, I guess, that that's what I was doing. I was thinking, this is my curse. It has to be like this. But when I realized that I had so much to be grateful for, and it didn't have to be like, it didn't have to feel empty. That's when I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And I think the pivotal thing for me was when I realized that I am showing my daughter and my son, for that matter, as well, but most of all my daughter, how not to be. And that broke my heart. I was like, I did not want to pass this forward. And then I realized on the journey there that I also passed on a lot of other things that I don't want to pass on. But I was not in a place where I wanted to see that or admit that to myself. You know how you like see your mother. I love my mother, but there are certain things about her that you're like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm never going to do that. I'm like so much better or whatever. But I realized that I'm doing the same things, or I alter them somewhat, and I'm just passing it on in a different form. So I was like, that was a wake up call when I realized that, I am doing the same things and my children are hurting.
Mm. So you really used your children as mirrors to reflect back to you who you were being. Yeah, you were seeing the results play out in front of you. And I think that empowered you to make that shift.
It certainly did. I did not, I just saw my life like I was at the point I was like 40 years old or something, 40, 45, when I realized this has to stop. And it took me almost like 2 or 3 years after that to actually stop the behavior.
Mm.
And I was not willing to look at myself. I was not willing to leave that successful person. I thought, if I just worked harder, if I just worked more, if I did more, things would shift. But what actually happened is that I disconnected even more. I got more stressed. I got more frustration. And the more frustrated I got, the worse the relationship with my kids went.
What
So
do you think
when
was
I
underneath that?
not feeling enough, not not unworthiness, I think was the biggest one, and also no the knowing doing gap. I think, and I knew that I was doing things that was not beneficial for them or me or my relationship or my work or whatever, but not doing anything about it. And I think a lot of people can resonate with that. Like you have this voice inside of you that like speaks to you, but you're not listening because you don't trust it. That's how it was for me. I did not trust what was coming up. I never listened in my entire life to that. And I did not know actually how to start listening and how to behave and what to do with that information that came up. So instead of just pivoting totally like that, I took small steps and I looked what was the result, what happened. And it's amazing how life can shift if you start listening to your body. Because that was key for me anyhow. Listening into my body, hearing the constant chatter, because it's like constantly talking to you. It's really funny when you start noticing.
Yes, I was listening to, I wasn't listening to, but I happened to catch a glimpse of my daughter's conversation yesterday with her friend, and they were talking about where they feel things. Yeah, you know, sometimes when you want to say something, you're about to cry, and you have this pressure in your throat or like pressure in your chest or tingling. And so I was just like, I love that they're talking about how their body feels. And I wanted, thanks for the reminder, I want to follow up with her about the importance of that to release it. So because it can, if it stays stuck, it can create more issues down the line in your body. Because she does have wisdom, and I love that you presenced listening and that you took small steps, because it can feel daunting. It can feel like an obstacle and a mountain you could just not climb. And so when you take small steps, one step at a time, just knowing, seeing what's in front of you and not 20 steps ahead, just staying in the step that you're in, sounded like it was really the beginning of the journey of you being a yes to your healing. So thank you for that tidbit. So you walked away from the corporate grind to embody a new kind of leadership. What challenges did you face in letting go of who you thought you had to be, and how you reframe those moments of fear and uncertainty for the women that you coach?
Well, it was scary actually, because who am I if I am not this confident woman who gets shit done, who is like, knows it all, don't fear anything. I was just talking to somebody today and I was like, you know, nothing could touch me. I was emotionless, I thought. Little did I know. But anywho, I was like, nothing can stop me because I can do anything in my corporate role. In my role as a mother, I did not have a clue. And stepping into what I'm stepping into now, also it's very vulnerable because I don't know how to be. I do not, there is not a script to who I be. And that is interesting because I have to rediscover myself, and I don't have to do anything, but I am letting myself be what feels good. And that is vulnerable. That is open, willing. And I can see that I am still competent, but not in the way that I was before. I can still be capable, but not paying the prices that I paid before. So what I'm teaching or preaching or whatever is just to let go of what doesn't serve you anymore, which is trying to look good for others, trying to have all the answers. Like it's not human to have all the answers. And you're so annoying if you have all the answers. Really, I could just look at myself like, oh my gosh, I knew it all. And it's actually been a relief to leave that behind, not needing to have that role anymore. But on the other hand, I don't even know if I'm answering the question anymore. But this feels like it's important to talk about, like that you have such certain expectations on yourself. I think it's your expectations, or maybe it's part of this male structure that we are living in, or in that is operating in the corporate world where we have to be a certain thing. But I seriously think that that was not good for me, and I don't think it's what it is good for a lot of women either that are stuck in those hierarchies. Like, so for me, it was a relief. I was terrified of stepping out, but I got it like I got it served on a tray. Like, here, you can leave. So I took a leap, and here I am. Yeah.
Wow. It sounded like your breakthrough was on the other side of that fear. And um, it also, what I heard too, was that you were already open to something new and different. And it's almost kind of like the universe brought this opportunity for you to be like, okay, you said so. Are you going to be a yes? And you took it.
Definitely.
And it can be very scary and daunting. But what I also heard is that you surrendered and trusted that there is a higher purpose and calling for who you be and who you get to invent yourself and reinvent yourself as. And I love what you said about the know-it-all, right? Because I had a big nerd insecurity around that because I would be accused of that. And sometimes I think it's just exerting your opinion can come off that way or your idea. And I always love debating, because I like getting curious about, well, why do you feel that way? Are you just going with the flow? Or is it something that's deeper than that? Like, where did it come from? So I think instead of just asking that, and I've learned that words matter and your intention matters as well to reframe. And speaking of reframe, right? Like you get to reframe that new identity that you're creating now. And sacred tools are is just so important on that journey. And your work is so rooted in mind-body connection and embodied leadership. What practices, whether they're spiritual, somatic, or emotional, or mindset, that help you release self-doubt, people pleasing, and truly integrate your feminine power?
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. The the key for me, like I said before, has been like just noticing my body and what it actually does. And I think uh, when I started to get curious about it, that was something. Then something happened with me because then I had like a purpose. Like I want to, I'm a fixer. I think that's part of my like the doer part of me. I want to fix things, but there's nothing to fix. But my intention was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I need to find out what it is. And when I started to be curious about that, I noticed that the more I was still, the better I heard. And for me, being still, number one, was not a natural state. I was always up and about doing something, usually for somebody else, not for myself, like pleasing others, taking care of others, cleaning the house, doing whatever, until I was exhausted and numbed out. So when I slowed down, which is super scary for many of us, because that's when you start to hear, right? I didn't know that I was scared of listening in, but that's the truth. So I explored breath work, connecting. I learned that connecting with my inner self through breath is really powerful because you can control your breathing, and that is automatic, right? So I started to like, if that's something that you can do, you can control that, and that is actually the reason that you're alive. So I just figured that had to be something special. So connecting by landing in my body and breathing, powerful. But also something that I recently took up is like being conscious about my body is sensing yoga.
What was the
And
first
that
part?
sensing,
Oh,
like
like sense.
sensing,
Okay.
yeah. So that is something that is also super weird, to be honest.
I've never
For
heard it.
like, no, it's not weird at all, really. But it's like you just like lay down, or you like wiggle, or you just like you do really soft movements. And for me, I'm like, what is this? But it's actually triggering your body, and your body remembers. So it's super efficient to um, to get your body talking. So there's a lot of different, yeah, all the modalities like the yoga and the Pilates, and really like the slow sports kind of. It's really good for just connecting. But I think a lot of people are doing it because it's trendy. It's not because of the connection that you have with yourself. Because I used to do yoga 15, 20, or even more, 25 years ago. And that was all because it was trendy, and like, um, how long can you hold the pose? It was all like, who does it the prettiest or whatever. But it's really about meeting the resistance and finding out about yourself. I think it's super interesting. I do a lot of shaking just to get down in my body. But most of all, I feel. I give myself permission to just like lay down and feel. And then you feel a lot. Then you're like, there's a burning sensation underneath my foot. There's a tingling feeling in my hand. Ooh, something happened on my shoulder. And then like explore that. What does it mean? Because every part of your body represents something. So, and deep diving into that is super interesting because it could hold memories, old memories. It could be letting go, or like clinching to something. So, and I use that a lot to deep dive. I love to deep dive in things. So
When
just
and
go
when you
deep
deep
in what.
dive and when you deep dive in those, like as you're listening to your body, take us through the process. Are you being curious? Are you asking questions that are open-ended without judgment? Like, take us through the process of like, do you clear it or do you just are aware of it and kind of move on? Like, what's the purpose of listening to your
It
body for
depends.
those
It
who
depends
might be
on.
curious?
Yeah. Sometimes I just want to clear it, and I am still impatient, so I if I don't get an answer right away, I ask, of course, like, what does this feeling want to tell me? And if and is there a memory connected to this? There's always like this icky feeling, or I'm feeling uncomfortable. Is there a memory connected to this? So if there is a memory, it will pop up, and it will be random, and you will think that this has nothing to do with it, but it always has, because this is how the mind works. It just connects the dots in the weirdest ways. So sometimes I release it, and sometimes I want to like try to find more related things, because sometimes it's more complex than just like releasing something. But I ask questions. But if I don't get the answers straight away, I tend to get a little bit um,
Impatient, you said?
impatient. Yeah, impatient. But the thing is, if you find something, it's ready to go. So you don't really have to understand everything. It's just me that I want to understand things. Um, so asking questions, seeing what comes up. Sometimes I journal, um, but that is not my go-to. I usually just stay in it, and feel the emotion that comes up and allow myself to feel those emotions, whether
Mm.
it's sadness or joy, or usually it's not one of the happy feelings um, when I do the work anyhow. but I'm just like trying really to express that feeling, because feelings just want to be expressed. And when they go away. And it's super interesting how that like manifests in the body in different illnesses or disorders or stuff like that.
I
Yeah.
love that. Feelings just want to be expressed and acknowledged,
Yeah.
just like us.
Yeah. And
Yes,
that,
I love
yeah,
that.
the body just want to be safe. That's like our castle is just want to be safe. So I'm also talking a lot to myself and allowing myself to be safe in different situations, because if you are in a situation, you meet somebody, something happens, you can actually feel your heart race sometimes. And that is like the stress response, the first stress response, when your breath is like, and your heart rate is going up. And then I'm like, okay, this is safe. I am safe. I got this. So it's like talking to my inner child or I don't know, my heart or whatever. So that is something that I have come to that awareness that I know where my heart is going at any given time. And sometimes I can calm myself really quickly, and sometimes, it takes a longer time, depending on.
I love that you gave us very simple way to evolve our fight, flight, and freeze response. Because you were right, our body is everything that we do is about keeping us safe. That's one thing our ancestors passed down very lovingly, survival. And when you can sit there in the moment of feeling either fight, flight, or freeze, or and I think now there's a new one called fawning, you could just tell yourself and ask those questions like you were so beautifully saying, like, why am I getting upset? What am I making this mean? What is happening? I am safe. You're okay. And just kind of, it really takes that process to talk you down off the ledge. And I love what you also said is the one thing that you really have control over is your breath, and your breath is connected so much to your emotions. When you're stressed out, you breathe shallower and faster. When
Yeah,
you're anxious, kind of the same way, more up here. um, so just slowing down the breath to help kind of calm. I love all the beautiful tools that you shared with us. I think there was a lot there that was so vital. And I think the most important thing that I heard was to just listen to your body. She knows, she has the wisdom. She's speaking to you, and she's constantly wanting to share with you and be acknowledged and recognized. And so speaking of like sisters, right? Listen to your body. Community, I think, is also so important in being that community bridge. And sometimes breaking generational patterns, right? Being the first one in your family to do anything like that can feel daunting and scary and lonely. Um, but breaking generational cycles isn't just personal, it's collective. I've been finding myself around a lot of women. I was like, wow, you're just like me. You're a cycle breaker. Yes. Sister, how can
hmm
we as women create spaces of belonging and courage where our healing ripples out to our daughters, our families, and our communities?
I think first of all, it's just showing up, like taking that stand and showing up and doing it publicly, doing it so others can, like, giving permission to others. I think that is like, am I allowed? I remember one time I was like, okay, can you really do that? Are you allowed to do that? I was looking for authority. I think that is one of the tribal, like, patterns that we have, that we are waiting for somebody to give us permission to do um, something. And I guess as a woman also, with the special, it's not special needs. It sounds like we have special needs. Yes, we do have special needs as women, because we are living in a cyclic world. It's not linear like the men. I think we have a different perspective. And I think that we need to talk more about that we need to give each other permission. I was just seeing this post today. It's like, well, if you're grinding 9 to 5, um, and you're feeling lost, it's not because it's something wrong with you. It's because you live on a different cycle. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is part of it. Like I work when I'm happy. I work when in the mornings. I don't do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. And it's not because it's something wrong with me. It's just because I'm a woman, right? And just being aware that we are different from the male paradigm. I think it's a big awakening for a lot of women. So just giving permission, I think that is one, the biggest one. Just like and connecting with other women that are doing the same, just like you are doing, like collecting them and seeing that, okay, I'm not alone in this. There are so many others, and if we are doing it, it's probably a lot more out there that wants to, but haven't found their voice yet. And honestly, I'm thinking as I'm speaking, I'm like, I don't know if I found my voice even, it's like constantly evolving. So just start and try it out for size and see what happens. Like have yeah, and reach out. I'm reaching out all the time. I'm almost feeling like I'm like in people's faces, but I just want to ripple. Like what I'm going through, I just wanted to ripple because I am about to break this cycle for me, for my children, for all the women out there that is stuck in this paradigm that they don't resonate with, that makes them
Wow.
feel wrong, like they're wrong.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, when you first started sharing, what I heard was that, we almost got programmed as women to wait to be rescued.
Yeah.
Like, what man or other person out there can rescue me because I am a woman and I can't do this life alone. And then there's also, right, where you were in the beginning of your journey, where you went so far into the masculine to fit in, to belong in a man's world, that you lost your identity. You lost that feminine wisdom, that innate. I mean, I think that's why women are great from coming from love and wisdom. And yeah, men are the strength and survive. They bring things to you. They get stuff done. But I
Mm-hmm.
think what I'm trying to say really is coming to terms with balancing that out. It's not about having no masculinity, because we get to be balanced, because there is duality in both. We won't know our light side if we didn't know our dark side. So I love that you shared that as well. And the other thing I thought too that was great was just being the permission, shining your light first, and knowing that you are enough just as you are. And I heard you also share that as you're shedding your layers, you're discovering your true voice, and that's why it keeps changing and shifting. And so you're
Mm-hmm.
discovering who you are in the journey, and I think that's beautiful. It gives you permission to just kind of be. It sounds like for me, like who I get to invite myself today. I get to choose what didn't work, and just be your own superhero, right? There's no one coming to rescue you. You get to be your own hero. Um, by
Mm-hmm.
being the permission. And I think it allows other people to be like, wow, she can do it, I can do it. And I think that's the importance of sharing and what you said with community. So that's beautiful. And this call is coming close to an end, but before we go, I would like to know more about you and your work. So for the women who's still out there who feeling stuck, right? They're in their old patterns, but they're longing for freedom. They want an invitation. So what would you offer her to take today for her first brave step back towards breaking the cycle and coming home to her true self?
Yes. Just listen to that voice and take it seriously. It's a calling that there's something else underneath. And if you are like, if you felt like something sparked in you with when you heard me talking, I invite you to my program. I have a 3-month program where we go from frustrated to calm, really working through the frustrations of life and becoming confident in your own skin. So I have it like that is the 3-month program that I'm doing. I highly recommend anybody who's feeling off just to take a step, whether it's with me or somebody else that they resonate with. But what I also have coming up, it's just to get a flavor of different coaches and different leaders is a summit coming up this Friday. It's the Game Changer Summit. It's about taking yourself on and be the change that you want to see in the world. And I think that is so powerful. And it's just nuggets of different leaders coming together and sharing what has been the game changer for them. And I will be talking about courage because it had required me a lot of courage to do all the things that I'm doing right now.
Yes. And courage is not the absence of fear, right? Is that what you learned?
No, it's act act despite fear, right? It's doing it anyway because it's what you are afraid of is an illusion, really.
And it's usually that step where it's beyond your comfort zone, that mediocre pattern that you've been living in, that something
Yeah.
new. So you don't know what's on the other side until you're a yes. And it's usually a breakthrough, it's usually an expansion, it's usually a better version of the
Mm-hmm.
life that you already have. Um, so thank
Yeah.
you for grounding us in that. And I love that the 3-month program, and I love that you have a summit called Changemakers. I believe that was the name of our
Game
leadership group that we were
changers.
in. Yes, we're game changers. Sorry, game changers.
Yeah.
And I love the work that you're doing, and I love how you're showing up, and I love just how much of this you're taking on yourself. And it's not about having it all right and being an expert at it. It's really just showing up in your truth, showing up in your rawness, showing up in all your brokenness because you're
Mm-hmm.
not broken, really. You're just becoming back to the truth of who you are. And so I love that you're showing up, doing this work for others and being that permission for all of us. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Where I know that you shared with us what you have coming up, but where can women find you? Where can these women find you and your work? I'll put the links below that she shares
mm-hmm.
with us, but I want her to be able to share that with you now, where you can be
Yeah.
reached.
So I am on Facebook, Mari Nygander. You can search for me there, and Instagram as well, Mari Nygander, and LinkedIn. So all of them with my name. You can just search for Mari Nygander. And yeah, I have most of my energy I put on Facebook and LinkedIn, but like the Instagram people, they can also follow me because I see them, but I'm not as active in Instagram. But Facebook and LinkedIn, you're so welcome to come and see me there. And if you have any questions or just intrigued by something that I was talking about, reach out. DM me. I am always available. Not always, but I am available.
I love it. And so the link to her summit will be available in the descriptions or the comments below, depending on where you're watching this. So please make sure to reach out to her. And just like that, our conversation has come to a close, and I feel like I could just sit here and speak to you for another hour. You have such beautiful wisdom to share. But if this conversation sparked something within you, if your heart cracked open just a little more, if you felt seen, heard, or simply not alone, please share this and subscribe to our channel. Sisters, I want to ask you, what if the curse that you've been carrying isn't yours to hold anymore? Mary reminded us, I keep saying your name wrong, Marie reminded us today that we are not doomed to repeat the cycles that keep us small. We are the ones chosen to break them. You are worthy, you are safe, and you are more powerful than the story that you've been told. This journey isn't about knowing it all. It's about surrendering to curiosity, listening to your body, and allowing yourself to be reinvented. Healing begins in the stillness when we pause, when we breathe, when we finally meet our resistance with love. Every breath, every journal entry, every small step toward your truth is a victory. You get to celebrate that. So stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You are your own hero. Shed the layers, embody your divine feminine, balance your sacred strength, and ripple your light into a world that desperately needs it. When you show up fully in your truth, you give others permission to do the same. Remember, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Until next time, sisters, keep shining, keep rising, keep coming home, because you matter and you are enough exactly as you are. I am your host, Margarita Rose, and this is Coming Home to You, Sparkcast.